Most men walk through life feeling invisible. You enter a room, and you feel the weight of solitude. You believe you are unnoticed, unappreciated, and perhaps unworthy of attention. But this is a lie your insecurity tells you. The reality is far more complex. You are not being ignored. You are being studied. In the wild, the predator does not announce its presence to the prey, and in the complex dance of human attraction, a woman rarely broadcasts her interest until she has gathered enough data. She is watching you. She is observing your micro-movements, your interactions, and your posture. But because you are looking for fireworks, loud compliments, and obvious flirty text messages, you miss the smoke signals that indicate a fire is already burning. Today, we deconstruct the silent language of female observation. We are going to peel back the layers of evolutionary psychology to reveal the 7 hidden signs that she is secretly watching you. Before we descend into these signs, understand this. This knowledge is not for the superficial dater. This is for the man who seeks to understand the deepest currents of human nature. If you are tired of misreading situations, if you are done with the confusion of modern dating, and if you are ready to join the minority of men who can see what is hidden in plain sight, you must commit to this path. Prove your intent to master this psychology. Subscribe now, not for the algorithm, but as a signal to yourself that you are ready to stop being blind to the reality around you. Let us begin the analysis. The first sign is rooted in the biological concept of proxemics, the study of human use of space. A woman who is secretly watching you will manipulate her physical environment to be near you without directly interacting with you. This is what psychologists refer to as the proximity paradox. She wants to be close enough to gather sensory data, your scent, the tone of your voice, the way you carry yourself, but far enough away to maintain plausible deniability. If she stands right next to you and stares, she exposes her vulnerability. But if she happens to be in your vicinity repeatedly, she creates a safety net. You must stop looking for her eyes and start looking at her location. Does she consistently end up in your peripheral vision? If you are at a social gathering, a bar, or even a workplace setting, track her movement over the course of an hour. You will notice a pattern. If you move to the kitchen, she finds a reason to get water. If you move to the balcony, she suddenly needs fresh air. This is not coincidence. This is orbiting. She is placing herself in your orbit to see if you possess the gravitational pull to initiate contact. Evolutionary psychology explains this clearly. Ancestrally, for a woman to approach a high-value male directly was risky. It risked rejection and social lowering. Therefore, the female strategy evolved to be one of availability. She positions herself as a passive object in your space, waiting for you to become the active subject. Most men miss this because they are waiting for her to say hello. She will not say hello. Her presence is the hello. Her body orientation is the conversation. If her feet are pointed towards you even while she is talking to someone else, she is subconsciously prioritizing you. She is watching you through the filter of her peripheral vision, waiting for you to notice that she has made herself accessible. The second sign is the most misinterpreted action in the history of human interaction. It is the rapid look away. When you finally catch her looking at you, what does she do? If she is polite or indifferent, she might offer a small, tight-lipped smile and continue scanning the room. But if she is secretly watching you with intent, she will often look away immediately and abruptly. This is a fear response triggered by the limbic system. When we stare at something we desire, our pupils dilate and our focus narrows. This is an intense, vulnerable state. When you catch her in this act, her brain screams that her cover has been blown. The sudden break in eye contact is an attempt to re-establish her psychological armor. But you must analyze the direction of the look away. This is the crucial detail men miss. Psychological research into body language indicates that the direction of the gaze aversion reveals the emotion behind it. If she looks up or to the side, she is likely bored or distracted. However, if she looks down, this is a primal signal of submission. In the animal kingdom, exposing the neck or lowering the head is a sign that one does not wish to challenge the dominant force. By looking down, she is subconsciously signaling that she is intimidated by your presence in a positive way. She is overwhelmed by the tension. Furthermore, watch for the double take. This happens when her logical brain fights her primitive desire. She looks at you, gets caught, looks away, fear. But then, within seconds, her eyes dart back to you to see if you are still looking. This is the confirmation. She cannot help herself. She is trying to assess if you saw her watching, and simultaneously, she wants another dose of the dopamine hit she gets from looking at you. If you catch a woman looking down, and then checking back within 10 seconds, she is not just watching you. She is analyzing you as a potential mate. Do not mistake this nervous energy for disinterest. It is the highest form of silent compliment. If the first two signs were about where she places herself and where she looks, this third sign is about who she becomes when you are around. We are discussing a psychological phenomenon known as the chameleon effect, or behavioral mirroring. However, we must look deeper than the superficial advice you have likely heard. Most basic dating advice tells you, if she crosses her legs when you cross yours, she likes you. While true, this is a surface-level observation. To truly know if she is watching you with intent, you must look for microsynchrony. This behavior is driven by mirror neurons in the brain. These are neurons that fire both when an animal acts and when the animal observes the same action performed by another. When a woman is secretly obsessed with observing you, her brain attempts to bridge the gap between you and her by simulating your state of being. She is not doing this to manipulate you. She is doing it because her empathy centers are hyper-focused on your reality. Shutterstock, look for the delay. True subconscious mirroring happens within seconds. Test this with the drink synchronization. In a bar or social setting, catch her eye peripherally, then deliberately take a slow sip of your drink. Do not look at her directly. Wait 3 to 5 seconds. If she reaches for her glass, adjusts a napkin, or touches her mouth immediately after you do, she has been watching you with high-intensity focus. Her motor cortex is priming itself to match yours, but the deepest form of this sign is linguistic convergence. This requires you to listen, not just look. If she has been watching you from afar or listening to you speak to others, she will start to adopt your vocabulary. Does she use a specific slang word you use? Does she adopt your cadence, speaking slowly if you are slow, or rapidly if you are high energy? This is a sign that she has been studying you long enough for your personality to imprint onto hers. She is trying on your identity to see how it fits with hers. In the context of attraction, we trust what is like us. By becoming like you, she is signaling to your subconscious that she is a safe and compatible mate. We now move to a more Machiavellian aspect of female observation. You must understand that women are biologically wired to be risk-averse in mating. A man who is solitary is a mystery, and mysteries are dangerous. A man who is vetted by the tribe is a known quantity. Therefore, when she is secretly watching you, she is rarely looking at only you. She is conducting a social proof audit. This is where you need to observe the triangulated gaze. This is a specific eye movement pattern. She looks at you, then she shifts her gaze to the person you are interacting with, and then she snaps back to you. Why? She is measuring your impact on the environment. She is not just checking if you are handsome, she is checking if you are competent. If you are telling a joke to a group of friends, she will not watch you tell the punchline. She will watch your friends' faces to see if they laugh. She is using the group's reaction as a proxy for your value. If you command respect from other men, and if you elicit laughter or engagement from other women, her interest spikes. She is watching your position in the dominance hierarchy. Shutterstock, explore pay. Close attention to how she watches you when you interact with staff or subordinates. This is the ultimate character test. A woman who is seriously vetting you will observe how you treat a waiter, a bartender, or someone lower on the social ladder than you. If you are dismissive, she records a data point of potential tyranny. If you are gracious but firm, she records benevolent leader. She is simulating what it would be like to be in a relationship with you. If you treat the world with aggression, she assumes she will eventually be the target of that aggression. Furthermore, she is watching for female pre-selection. This is a controversial but scientifically backed reality. If she sees you talking to another woman, watch her reaction. Does she turn away? No. If she is interested, her gaze will intensify. She is analyzing the competition. She wants to know, what does that other woman see in him? If the other woman looks happy, engaged, and submissive to your lead, the observer's desire for you increases instantly. She is outsourcing her vetting process to the other woman. If you are valuable enough for that woman, you are valuable enough for her. You are not being ignored, you are being benchmarked. We have discussed how she moves and how she mimics. Now we must discuss how she listens. The fifth sign that she is secretly watching you is observed not by what she does, but by what she ignores. This is the interrupt barrier. The human brain has a limited capacity for processing information, a concept known as cognitive load. When a person is deeply interested in a subject, their brain automatically filters out extraneous noise to dedicate maximum processing power to the target. This is a variation of the cocktail party effect. Usually, this effect describes the ability to focus on one voice in a loud room. But when a woman is fixated on you, she creates a reverse dampening field around herself. Observe her when you are speaking nearby, not to her, but near her. Perhaps you are at a table next to hers or standing in the same circle but speaking to someone else. Watch what happens when her friends try to engage her. Does she give them short, delayed answers? Does she nod mechanically without breaking her auditory focus on you? This is the interrupt barrier in action. She is physically present with them, but mentally, she has erected a wall to block their signal so she can receive yours. You will see physical manifestations of this. If she is sitting, she might lean one shoulder away from her group and slightly toward you, turning her ear like a radar dish. This is an unconscious biological attempt to capture your phonemes. She is data mining your conversation. She wants to know your opinions, your humor, and your status without having to ask you directly. Furthermore, watch for the phone drop. In modern society, the smartphone is the ultimate shield against boredom. If a woman is bored, she scrolls. However, if you enter the room or start speaking, and she puts her phone face down on the table, this is a massive indicator of passive observation. By removing the visual stimulus of the screen, she is freeing up her sensory channels to track you. She is choosing the reality of your presence over the dopamine hit of the digital world. That is a significant investment of attention. In the 21st century, observation does not end when you leave the room. In fact, that is often when the real surveillance begins. Sign number 6 is asynchronous surveillance, commonly known as stalking, but we will analyze it through the lens of digital forensics. If she is watching you in real life, she is almost certainly investigating you online. She is building a dossier. Do not look for the obvious likes and comments. Those are overt signals. We are looking for the covert signals that slip through the cracks. First, analyze the story view order. Algorithms on platforms like Instagram and Facebook are designed to show you the people you interact with most. If she is consistently near the top of your viewer list within minutes of you posting, it is not random. It means the algorithm has flagged you as a high-affinity account for her. This happens because she visits your profile often, even if she doesn't like anything. She is checking your page manually. The machine knows she is watching you, and it is serving your content to her first. Second, look for the deep dive slip-up. This is the accidental like on a photo from 2019. If you receive a notification that she liked an old photo, and then the notification disappears because she unliked it in a panic, you have caught her. Nobody scrolls back 3 years on a profile they don't care about. She was trying to understand your history. Who were you dating? What were your hobbies? She is trying to piece together your timeline to see if she fits into your future. Third, pay attention to the ghost viewing. This occurs when she watches every single one of your stories, but never interacts with your posts. She never likes a photo, never leaves a comment, but she never misses a status update. This is the behavior of a lurker. In psychology, this is often a sign of high attraction coupled with high intimidation or insecurity. She wants to consume your life, but she is terrified of revealing her interest. She is consuming you in silence. Finally, watch for content mirroring. This is the digital version of the chameleon effect. If you post a story about a specific jazz song, and 3 days later she posts a story with a similar genre of music, she is signaling compatibility. If you post about hiking and suddenly she is out in nature, she is broadcasting a signal on your frequency. She is curating her digital avatar to appeal to your specific tastes, hoping you will notice the similarity and initiate contact. She is modifying her public persona to match the data she has gathered from watching you. We arrive at the final and perhaps the most primal sign. This is not a social strategy or a conscious manipulation. This is a biological reflex rooted in the autonomic nervous system. It is called the preening response. In ethology, the study of animal behavior, preening is a grooming activity used to maintain the condition of feathers or fur. However, in the context of human courtship, preening serves a different function. It is a fixed action pattern triggered by the presence of a potential mate. When a woman is secretly watching you and she senses that you might look back, her body automatically attempts to optimize her appearance. You must look for the adjustment cascade. This happens the moment you enter her visual field or the moment she thinks you are about to look at her. Does she suddenly smooth her hair? Does she adjust her necklace? Does she straighten her posture, arching her back slightly to accentuate her form? These are not vanity checks. They are preparations for inspection. Pay specific attention to the hair flip and neck exposure. This is one of the most potent signals in evolutionary psychology. When a woman runs her fingers through her hair or flips it to one side while looking at you, or just after looking at you, she is accomplishing two things. Visually, the movement catches the eye. Motion attracts attention. Biologically, she is exposing her neck. The neck is a highly vulnerable area. By exposing it, she is subconsciously signaling trust and submission. Furthermore, this action releases pheromones trapped in the hair and near the carotid artery, chemically signaling her presence to you. Also observe the lip lick. When we are sexually attracted or nervous, our mouth tends to go dry due to sympathetic nervous system arousal. She may quickly lick her lips or bite her lower lip. While pop culture sexualizes this, the root is physiological anxiety and blood flow. If she is watching you and you catch her and she immediately touches her face or lips, her body is betraying her internal state of high arousal. She is literally flustered by your presence. The synthesis, moving from observer to operator. We have now dissected the 7 hidden signs: the proximity paradox, saccadic masking, the chameleon effect, the social proof audit, the interrupt barrier, the digital footprint, and the preening response. You now possess the data, but data without action is merely trivia. The danger of this knowledge is analysis paralysis. You can become so obsessed with looking for these signs, waiting for the perfect combination of a hair flip, a look down, and a mirror action, that you never make a move. You become the watcher, trapped in the same cycle she is. Understanding these signs is not about giving you a guarantee. There are no guarantees in human dynamics. It is about giving you the probability advantage. If you see 3 or more of these signs clustered together, the probability that she is receptive to your approach is over 90%. The smoke signals are there. The fire is burning. But it will die out if you do not add oxygen. Most men wait for a billboard. They want a woman to walk up and say, "I like you." That will almost never happen with a high-value woman. She has evolved to signal interest, not to hunt. The burden of the first move rests on your shoulders. She is watching you to see if you have the courage to bridge the gap. She has positioned herself in your orbit, sign 1. She has made herself available. She has checked your status, sign 4. She is preening for you, sign 7. She has done her part. The final directive. Your task is no longer to search for these signs. Your task is to test reality. Next time you suspect she is watching, do not look down. Hold the gaze. Do not wait for her to come to you. Break the physical barrier. Walk over. Speak. The psychology of observation reveals one fundamental truth. We watch what we desire, but we only keep what we earn. She is watching you because she sees potential. It is time to convert that potential into kinetic energy. If this analysis has sharpened your perception, if you are ready to stop being a passive background character in your own life and start reading the code of human behavior, you know what to do. This channel is dedicated to the few who seek the truth beneath the surface. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Do not miss the next briefing. The world is full of signals. Make sure you are the one decoding them.